Thanks for joining us here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schneed. It is Wednesday, October 8th. Tonight is Utah's Missing and our search for answers in what is believed to be Utah's oldest cold case.
This is 2 News at 10.
I'm confident that someday this case will be solved.
Inside the Salt Lake City Cold Case Library is detective work to find closure and justice.
Well, tonight we dig into the archives. It is now believed to be Utah's oldest cold case, and an anniversary of the disappearance is coming up on October 11th. Back in 1964, Reed Taylor Jeppson, who was 15 at the time, came home with his family from church, went outside to feed his 2 dogs and take them for a walk. Reed was never seen again. The family lived on Browning Avenue, close to Emigration Canyon, here in Salt Lake City. Now, digging back into the archives, we know a friend of Reed's later reported seeing him walking his dogs near the old St. Mary of the Wasatch building around 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day. The building was a Catholic institution for girls founded in 1926, closed in 1970, and sold in 1972. A housing subdivision has since taken its place. According to the Utah Missing Persons Database, kept by the Utah Department of Public Safety, Reed was last seen wearing blue Levi jeans, a white cotton knit shirt, tennis shoes, and a reversible parka, blue on one side, black on the other. He had braces on his upper and lower teeth at the time. Fast forward to May 2010, police announced they would reopen the case. The detective tasked with this told media members that investigators had not actively looked at the case since 1966. Reed's family spoke that day, sharing what they remember from the last time they saw their brother.
Our brother Reed did not run away. He was taken against his will.
Suzanne, who was 20 years old back then, remembers that she was the last person from her family to see Reed as he went out to feed and walk his dogs.
I said, well, hurry back. We'll have dinner in about a half hour. And he says, oh, I'll be back. And we never saw him again.
Reed left behind his parents and 11 siblings. They say he had already seen great success in his young life and had no reason to run away.
In life, he had just made his first touchdown on the East High School sophomore football team. He had a paper route where he was earning his own money, and all of his money and his personal belongings were left at home.
So this is a case involving a missing person from 1964.
Years later in 2015, 2 News reporter Chris Jones took us into Salt Lake City Police Department's Cold Case Library. In that news coverage, officers featured the case involving Reed Jeppson. Reed is honored and remembered with this empty burial plot in the Larkin Sunset Cemetery, which is just 2 blocks from his childhood home. Now, today I spoke with Salt Lake City Police and asked them what happens to a case that goes this cold for so long.
We call these cold cases, but we don't ever consider these cold cases. So this one, for instance, we continue working it. I was browsing through the case today, and we have over 150 reports from between now and 1964. There's been a lot of people that have looked at this case, continued revisiting it, continued following leads, continued trying to turn over every stone, trying to find new information, trying to find new evidence, things that might help give us some clues of where to explore. And this one, some of them may seem like they may have seemed like nothing, and we're continuing to turn those stones over. We're continuing to follow up leads to this day. So we have some very experienced investigators that are focused on this case, and they're continuing to work on it to this day.
Years of investigating this case, and Salt Lake City Police reminding everyone that they could still use your help. According to Sergeant Southworth, Reed's family members are not the only ones interested in closure and answers.
I looked over this case. I was looking and I see these detectives that have worked on this over the years. These names that are like in our world, these are some legendary detectives, and this is one that they've really spent a lot of time on. I know they've lost sleep over it. They've in some cases, a lot of these detectives have retired and they've moved on long ago. But this is something that would give a lot of closure to. Obviously, the family would desperately want this closure to know what has happened to their loved one. But even as a police department, I think we have a lot of people that are very invested in these cases, this case in particular, and it would give us a lot of closure to be able to figure out what happened with this case and try to figure out where Reed is.
Reed's photo from 1964 was shown age progressed to 60 years by those with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Now, Reed would be 76 years old today. Reed has quite a few living relatives. We spoke to his niece, Julie, who has actually made some impressive YouTube videos about her uncle Reed on her family channel, including a sit-down just last year with Salt Lake City Police. And when we asked the family to join us today, they declined, saying, quote, they know where Reed is. This is still an active case that we would like to help solve. If you are a longtime Salt Lake City resident or you know one, I urge you to ask questions about Reed or even just that time period. Again, that would be the East Bench of Salt Lake City, October 1964. If you know or come up with anything about the disappearance of Reed Taylor Jeppson, please call Salt Lake City Police. You can use the number you see on your screen, 801-799-3000.